Does anybody else just contemplate random things from time to time? Your mind just wanders off and you just find yourself thinking about the craziest, wildest things. Välkommen tillbaka. Tack för sist. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Thank you for subscribing, just commenting, just watching. Very cool. I dig it. So today, I was listening to a podcast and the hosts were talking about, I don't even know how they got on this subject, but they were talking about the universe and the Big Bang Theory and all of that. And after I was listening to the podcast, I started listening to music, which I don't do a whole lot. Excuse me. I like to keep my mind occupied. I think it's good for my brain. And I'm entertained by it more than I am music. I love music. I love driving down the road, rolling down the window on a nice spring, summer, fall day and just cranking my stereo. I dig it. But I listened to the podcast and then I put some music on. I started thinking about this. I also had just seen that Voyager 2, which is farther away than Voyager 1, just because of the trajectory they took. They were launched in 77, I believe. And Voyager 2 is about to hit one light day from Earth, coming up here in a few months, which is 29 billion kilometers, something in that neighborhood. But these guys on the podcast were talking about how the universe is expanding. And the farther you get away, like they were talking about, say a star or galaxy is 3 million light years away. It travels away from us at 46 miles per second. Your eyes are going to glaze over here, but I find this stuff fascinating. And then one that was 6 million light years away, which is twice as far, traveled at 92 miles per second away. First of all, I find it fascinating that there are these people that are so freaking brilliant that they can figure this stuff out. It boggles my mind. It's like looking at my phone, and I'm like, if somebody told me, okay, create a phone, a cell phone from scratch, I'd be like, I wouldn't have a clue what to do. I was a science major in college. I studied a lot of this stuff, but I never got to like the PhD level, obviously. I thought about it, but just wasn't my thing. I had had enough of college. It took me forever to get through college. But I find space and the universe and the whole thing so fascinating that things are so far away. I saw a little map I've seen this several times lately. I think it was on Facebook, of how far Voyager 2 will travel in a million years. And it's traveling, I think, right around 38,000 miles per hour. It's one of the fastest things humans have ever launched. But it's nothing in the cosmos of things, when you're looking at the structure of the universe or even our galaxy, it's nothing. So it showed the Milky Way. Say the Milky Way fills this screen here. And 1 million years was like a little blip like this, like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4% across the Milky Way in a million years. Currently at its pace, it's not going to pass close enough to a star. Proxima Centauri is the closest star to us. I believe it's 4.2 light years away. It's going to take 40,000 years for Voyager 2 to get there. And it actually won't get there. It'll get within a couple of light years of a star, just because of the trajectory it's on. But I'll sit and think about this stuff and just random conspiracy theories. I know just a conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's not true. I get that. There are things that probably are true that are considered conspiracy theory. Of course there are. Whether it's the JFK assassination or did we land on the moon, which that's hilarious to me. But yeah, we landed on the moon. But maybe there's some of you watching that don't think we did. Fair enough. You get to have your point of view. But I love delving into that kind of stuff. I like podcasts that talk about just all these random things, the size of the universe. I mean, the fact you try to contemplate that the Big Bang Theory, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, started from a point that was infinitesimally small, like smaller than a pinprick, and then exploded into everything. First of all, how could there ever be nothing? And no, I haven't been smoking anything. Some of you are probably like, oh, he's had a gummy or he's high. I'm not. Haven't any beer. It's Sunday night. I don't rarely drink during the week. So no, I'm stone cold sober. But I love thinking about these things. I'm like, how could there be no beginning? How could there be no end? I mean, the universe has to end somewhere, right? But that doesn't make any sense either. By the way, if you are smoking something, you're probably enjoying this more. It doesn't make sense that it goes on forever. It doesn't make sense that it ends. I was talking about this the other day when it comes to God. I can't wrap my brain around God created everything, the universe. It's just not, it's unfathomable. Unfathomable. Say that 5 times. And I just find it really hard to contemplate. You know, I've heard religious people say, well, my dad has said this before, and you know, who knows if it's true or not, that there's a God for each galaxy, for each solar system. I have no idea. I don't claim to. You know, I'm sure I'll get some comments from some of you, excuse me, that, you know, consider yourself religious scholars and hey, I'm open to all opinions. I don't know. But the whole contemplating the universe, when I'm sitting in my hot tub at home at night, there's lots of times if I have a clear sky above me and I can see the satellites going by, that fascinates me. You know, you see a shooting star, which meteorites. And I'll sit and I'll calculate how far light travels at 185,000 miles per second. I'll sit and contemplate and do the math in my head. Part of it is an exercise that I think it's good for my brain as I get older. And I'll figure out how far does it, well, in 10 seconds, it's 1.85 million miles. In, you know, 10 seconds, it's 18.5 million, 100 seconds, 18.5 million miles, which is about 20 million miles in 2 minutes, 10 million miles a minute. And I'll just go on from there into hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries, millennium. Sometimes I've gone, you know, you get to a trillion and it's like, what's next? I think it's quadrillion, right? What's after that? Quintillion? I mean, it just gets to these numbers that just aren't fathomable. Good Lord, I can't say that word. I was watching a thing on YouTube and I was home a couple of weeks ago talking about this kind of thing. How far things are going to go in a million years, a billion years, a trillion years, which the universe, according to common scientific knowledge, is about 14 billion years old. So a trillion is 1,000 billion. So that's just a crazy number. It's just, I know I'm rambling. That's the point of this video. And you either enjoy it or you're like, this guy's crazy, next. And you're swiping to the next video. That's cool too. But every once in a while, I like contemplating these things and just the vastness of everything. You know, we're specks on this earth, and this earth is just a speck. Have any of you seen that when Voyager 2, I think it was when it hit 15 billion kilometers, it turned around. So Voyager 2, if you're not familiar, they're slowly shutting down all the systems. It was supposed to only last a couple of years, and it's going on 50 years now. And but they've been shutting systems down to extend the life. And I think they're down to the last 1 or 2 systems. They just shut something down. But when it hit about 15 billion kilometers, they had the camera turn around for one last picture of Earth. And you see this pale kind of stripe through the solar system. And there's this little pale blue dot just way in the distance, you know. And it's just everything that's ever happened in the history of humankind or the history of the earth. That's right there. You sit and you contemplate that. I wish Carl Sagan would have lived a lot longer, because he was a fascinating dude. If you've ever seen the movie Contact, he had something to do with that, the inspiration for it, or there's a quote of his in the movie or written in the text or something. But Carl Sagan was a fascinating, brilliant guy. It sucks when the really super brilliant people die too young. You know, Stephen Hawking had, and I know Stephen Hawking had plenty of faults, but so do we all. He's just a genius. I don't actually know how long Einstein lived. I think he lived into a decent age, but I don't think he was super old. I guess I could ask Siri. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just one of those things I like to contemplate. Like I said, when I listen to music instead of a podcast, my brain just starts going to places. And I enjoy it. And I know this might be weird for some of you. If you're still watching, hey, thanks. I'm going to end it here. This won't be a very long video. I just wonder if any of you have these just random thoughts come into your head, and then they kind of take over and you start contemplating all these things, whether it's a conspiracy or the size of the universe. That's something I would like to get into more, actually, is maybe start doing some videos on some common conspiracy theories out there. I still have not done my Norway World War II heavy water story. Excuse me, it's not my story, but it's a story that's not very well known. The Norwegians were a big part of the underground fighting Hitler and the Nazis. Norway got occupied pretty early, and it lasted pretty much the whole war. But the Nazis had a huge setback from the Norwegian underground pretty early in the war that probably prevented them from getting a nuclear weapon before anybody else. Hitler had big goals. Luckily, he didn't achieve that, thanks to the Norwegians. Oh, thought there was something in my mustache. It's like, I've been doing this video. So I am going to get to that video one of these days, but I want to spread out, start telling some stories that are unknown. Mr. Ballin, I couldn't remember his name the other day. I like watching his videos. He just kind of tells stories from history or recent history, long ago history. I love stuff like that. I love stories of weird things and Sasquatch and the Loch Ness Monster, all those kinds of things. I've told my Skinwalker story. I probably will tell that again because it's fascinating to me. I saw something. I don't know what, but I saw something. So, I'm still rambling. Okay, I'm going to sign out. Thanks for watching. Tack för denna gång. Vi snackas igen snart. Seriously, I so dig all of you that watch these videos, and especially when you comment and like them and subscribe. So have a fantastic Sunday night. This won't get posted till tomorrow. My Wi-Fi sucks here. My signal sucks here. So I have to drive over to McDonald's in the morning, get my coffee, and sit in the parking lot for about 10 minutes to upload this. So Monday the 15th, this should be live. Have a fantastic night, y'all. Peace, love.